Miniature Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below for blueprints of Mad King Ludwig or any other game. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going back in time before the castle of Mad King Ludwig was built, because today we're going to be creating the blueprint of Mad King Ludwig. This is a flip and sketch game from Bezier Games. It is a standalone sort of spin-off, a prequel if you will, to Castles of Mad King Ludwig. So I'm going to show you how the game works and I'll see you on the other side. Now I have already done an overview of this game because I did the preview overview for the Kickstarter for this game. So I'm going to actually show you that overview because it shows you pretty much how the game's played. Now I will mention that the version in this video that I'm showing the overview for that is the deluxe version with the mat and such. So just want to preface that with that. So let's show you quickly how to play the game. And here we have the mat set up for a full complement of 5 players with all different types of rooms that are out there. These are rooms that you're going to be drawing and sketching into your castle. You're also going to be trying to, over the course of the game, focus on some of these king's favors that are different each game. You'll also be getting some bonus cards that are going to be secret that you're going to be trying to fulfill as well. Now notice there's different types of rooms that you can build. They're all summarized on the mat here, like sleeping, living, outdoor, food, moat, utility, downstairs, and activity. And those are going to correspond with those similar icons on these rooms, but also the colors of these as well. Each player is going to have their own sketch panel, and in that panel they're going to slot one of these sketch sheets. Now these sheets are semi-transparent, which makes it's going to be easier to draw and color on them, but you're also going to be able to see below them. That's going to be important too. So this is sort of a transparency, if you will, but you can definitely see what's going on. Now at the beginning of the game, everyone starts with a foyer, and you're able to color that in any color you want, and those colors again correspond to the room type. So I've made my foyer an outdoor one because it's green. The game is played over 10 rounds, and each round you'll be selecting one of the possible rooms, and you'll be sketching those on your pad, and you'll be trying to get overall points at the end of the game, and many of these come from trying to fulfill the different favors, some of your secret bonuses, completing rooms, which we'll talk about in just a moment, even the sizes of your rooms. So let's go over how a round works. So on your turn, you're going to select a room that is available. You're going to take that card, and you're going to sketch it on your sketch sheet. Now obviously the rooms are different colors, and the game comes with these different colored pencils in this nice holder. The first player marker is actually an eraser, and this, if you spin it around, doubles as a sharpener in case you don't have access to an electronic one. So I'm now going to sketch this. This is an activity room, it's a red room, and this is a train room, and I'm going to sketch it on here. Now notice that this card here, it has sort of a mirrored image. It has it like this, and this is sort of like a mirrored image. So you can trace or look at these and draw this. Now what you're going to do is these are doors, and you have to make sure that you connect, or an entrance, you must connect one of these entrances to an entrance on one of your other rooms that are in your castle. Also you'll notice that there's these dotted lines. At the beginning you have to stay within this grid here. Later I'll show you how you can actually expand out a little bit. Now the really cool thing, and the reason why this is transparent, is because you can actually slide the card underneath this transparency because it's open at the bottom, and you put it there and you can literally just trace it. I do this because I am a terrible drawer. Now you can see that as you're drawing this, if you didn't want to trace it, you just want to freehand it by looking at the card, you can see there's little spots that show you where the entrances possibly will be depending on the room. Now once you have traced it or drawn the outline, you can decide to leave it like that, or you can decide to color it in. It has no game effect, but it is quite calming to color in, and it looks really nice. And what I like to do is just highlight the entrances a little darker so they're easier to see at first glance. Now one of the things that you're trying to do in this game is complete rooms, and that's making sure that all the entrances have something connected to it. So I'm going to have to connect this, and I'm going to have to connect this later if I want to complete this room. And you might say, well, how do we get out there? Because this thing is like this. We'll show you that later, but that's generally you're trying to sort of connect and complete rooms, because once you've done that, you'll get some bonuses I'll show you later. Now another cool touch here is on these pencils, it actually has the icon and the type of room it is. It's just another level of detail that Bezier always pays attention to. Now one of the things on this card I want to show you, a couple things. First of all, this is the size of the room. This is important for turn order for next round, because in the first round everyone's going in clockwise order, but in subsequent rounds it's going in the order of the last room that's on the top of their pile. So what they last did by the end of their last turn, smallest number is going to go first, and so on and so forth up to the biggest numbers. But these numbers also play with other different things, because at the beginning of the game, through a drafting procedure, everyone got a royal decree. And they will, after everyone has drafted, you'll flip these up. And these are going to give you different things that happen. Sometimes they're triggered. And for mine, it's going to be, I'm going to get 3 points for each unique sized building at the end. So I have a 5 here, so I'm going to try in the back of my mind to try to get a bunch of unique ones by the end of the game. Now, some of these decrees are just, they're ongoing things that you get to do right away at the beginning of the game. Some of them are end game goals like this. You can actually even play an advanced game where you snake draft and you get 2 of these to give yourself even more to think about. But there's another thing on this card I want to show you, and this is a swan. Now, I have this red pencil here. I did this, and I am going to highlight this next swan. So what are these swans about? Well, we talked about being able to connect rooms and finish them. If I complete this, I'll be able to build a moat. We'll show you what that does later. And so then the other players are going to go ahead and do the same thing. They're going to take the card, they're going to start sketching. And to keep the game moving fast, actually, as once someone takes the card and they start sketching, the next player can continue and basically take a card and start sketching and things like that. And after everyone's taken a turn, you'll then discard the cards, you'll fill them back up, and you'll start a new round. And the rooms that weren't selected go in a face-up reserve pile, and there's ways to get at these with different abilities. Now let's say for my next turns, I created the dessert room, which is a food room here, and then I just created the nursery. Now this dessert room had 2 entrances, and now they're connected to another room. So this room is completed. Now when you complete a room, you'll color in the next empty circle of that color. In this case, it was a food room. Now what this means is I'm going to get a reward. A lot of these, or most of these, when you fill them in, you'll be able to take that reward anytime you want. This one has a lightning bolt on it, which means you need to take this reward at the end of the round. Once everyone has taken a turn, we'll take an extra turn. Anytime you take a reward, you just color in the flag to let you know you've used it. And we'll go over what some of these are. I'm not going to go over all the rules in the game, just showing you how the game works at a high level. Also, because we've completed this at the end of the game, for each one we've completed here, it's going to be worth 4 points. And as you can see, they vary as you go with the different types of rooms. Because remember, after everyone has taken their turn, there'll be some cards left, and you'll be able to now take one of these. So let's say I grab that powder room, I put it on the end of this foyer. Look at this, we completed 2 more rooms. The foyer is now completed because all 3 entrances are there, and this one was just like this, and it was completed. Oh, by the way, interesting that I'm starting to get a bunch of unique sized rooms going from my decree, right? So I'm able to fill in the circles for those, and again, when I want to use them, I can color in those flags and use them. As with most of the rooms, you can choose when to use the utility room's completion reward, although usually you'll want to use this reward right away because you get to take 2 bonus cards, and we'll talk about scoring these in just a moment. And as you can see, the bonus cards are right there on the mat. Now at the beginning of the game, you were dealt 2 bonus cards. Now you look at them, you keep them secret. I have them face up so obviously you can see them. And anytime you get that reward, you get to draw 2 more. Now, however many you get to score is how many of these you completed. So even though I have 4 of these now, I'm only going to be able to complete 1 of them because that's how many of these rooms that I've completed. So if I complete another one, I'll be able to draw 2 more cards, but then I'm going to score 2 of all of those. So here, look at this. I get 5 points for each of my downstairs rooms, or 4 points for each of my utility rooms, or 4 points for each of my unused rewards, or maybe if I don't think I'm going to get any more utility rooms and complete them, if this is the only bonus card I score, maybe I want to do that one. So I don't have to decide now, but this is just giving me some more strategy for the longer part of the game. But remember, we also completed this green foyer. And remember, we have this little lot that we can build within, and we already have an entrance that's out here. Maybe we want to try to complete this room. A couple different ways of doing it, but maybe we want to expand to here. And so maybe we decide to use this reward here. We color in a flag to say that we've done it. And so we'll color in any of the green flags, and what this means is now this boundary is no longer a boundary, it's removed. So now we can move up here and try to complete this. So let's show you some of the comboing beauty in this game. Let's say I built this arcade and I placed it right here. Well, first of all, I just completed this, this sleeping room here, which is going to allow me to take a reward. Now, another thing I want to show you is this also has now completed a courtyard. Anytime you have something that on all orthogonal sides, it's sort of enclosed and you have an entrance, that becomes a courtyard. I'll just mark a little C in there. And that's cool because 10 points for every courtyard. Now let's not forget, I had a swan on this, so I filled it in there. I have finished these 4 swans, so now when I want to, I've completed this, I can build a moat whenever I want to, and I'm actually going to do it now. So I'm going to color in the flag to let me know I've done it. Now, if you remember, we opened up this boundary by having this green flag. We were hoping to be able to put some things here and then maybe here, but the rooms just haven't been coming up that I want. But I want to be able to make sure I get these closed. So I can build a moat. It's going to basically take up one column or row, but I have to stay within the lot. This is still a boundary. It's only going to go to here. You think, well, that was kind of a waste to do that. Well, not really, because I could open up this boundary or this one later, and then I can kind of go up in here. So it's not the end of the world, but I do want to make sure these get completed. So I draw the moat here, and as you see, this goes up right against the side of a couple of these rooms. And you'll notice that these rooms used to have entrance doors here that were not completed or connected to anything, but now that's what the moat does. It actually, you get to basically color these in to show that those are essentially connected. They're done. So what that did is that allowed me to complete this room and complete this room, because both of those rooms, those are the last doors that needed to be sort of connected. But now this moat sort of closes that off, and so now we've got two rooms connected right away simultaneously. So in this one turn, I've gotten two of these completed, one of these completed. Each of those is going to be 5 points. This is going to be 8 points. But in addition to that, here, I can trigger this when I want to, and I can take one of those rooms from the reserve. Those rooms were ones that people, did not take before. And so maybe there was something that I really wanted that I didn't get. I can go in there and get that and place it. Here, I can move doors. That can be really useful as well. Now you might be going, yeah, you did a lot of great things, but you're kind of stuck now because everything is closed. You just put a moat here. We've got a courtyard here. There's no, what are you going to do? Well, there's a lot we can do. Because at the top of the sheet here, everyone has a filled in start reward. You're able to take a reward, a special reward of any of these. Because if you didn't want to take a room card, you can skip your turn, coloring this in and getting a reward. Anytime you go last, you color this in, and anytime you're going last the third time, or the sixth time, you get one of these. Now these flags up here are special rewards. And when you fill one of these in, you can either fill in a swan on the moat track, which might give you a moat, which might uncover some, close some bonuses and give you some more things, or you could take a completion reward of any room type. Aha, look at the downstairs rooms. We haven't talked about those yet, but they allow you to add a secret door. Yes. We want to do that. So we're going to take this color and we're going to color this in and say, we're taking a secret door. And so I've decided to place a secret door right here, and this is going to allow me to now continue to build out. Whew. So in a nutshell, that's how you play the game. Now we haven't talked about all of these, but we just talked about this completion reward, the secret door. The downstairs rooms, the first one you add can be connected to any entrance, but then after that, your downstairs rooms always have to connect to downstairs rooms. Moving doors. When you place any room in your castle, you can take any number of these doors and move them somewhere else in this room, but you need to keep the same amount of doors in the room. Removing a door. This is great if you need to complete a room. You can use this completion reward to remove a door and maybe complete that room comboing into another reward. Now the game will end when the deck runs out, and then you'll start tallying up all your scores. And as I showed you earlier, you'll be scoring for all your completed rooms depending on how many rooms there were. Like in this sheet, there were 3 yellow rooms done, because you can see 3 circles were filled in, and those are 4 points, so that's 12. You do that for all the normal rooms there. The outdoor rooms, the green ones, you get 2 points for each empty square that's adjacent to your green rooms. Moats, you're going to get 2 points for each room that's behind the moat. And this sheet, you're able to draw 2 moats, one at the very bottom, because they actually had a decree card that allowed them to draw a moat in the lot edges there on the edge of the map like that. So they actually had 2 moats. They got a ton of points from all the rooms that were sort of hidden from outside of the castle there. Of course, you're going to score however many bonus cards. In this case, they scored 1 bonus card for 15. You're going to get 10 points for each courtyard, 3 of them here for 30. Then you're going to add up all the numbers. Remember, all the rooms have a certain number for turn order of what the sizes are. Some bonus and goals go for that. But then you add all those up. In this case, 47 of them there. Also at the bottom, you have first, second, third, or fourth place. Those are for all the king's favors. Remember, those are these here, and these are different each game, and there are a ton of different favors. So yeah, you'll get those points too, and whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. All right, let me first talk about what I liked about the game. This is a crunchy, thinky, sort of flippin' sketch game. Now, I've been somewhat burnt out on rollin' rights and flippin' rights. I dove headfirst when they became big, a handful of years ago, and there's been so many of them that I've kind of been burnt out on this. When I first had a chance to play this a while back, before it came out, I was enamored by how thinky it was. It feels basically, when you think of Flip It Right and Roll 'n' Right, you think of like these small little 20-minute games that, that are fun, but they're not terribly deep, and they don't make you think as hard. They're kind of more like filler games. Where this is more like a full-length game that's a Flippin' Right or Sketchin' Right, and it's a lot more thinky than I thought it was going to be, and I like that. So if you're looking for sort of that heavier, medium weight, Sketchin' Right or type of game like that, this gives that to you. Now I love the transparent sheets here because I'm a terrible drawer, as I showed in that overview, and I love that you could put the card underneath and just trace it, and it really makes me be able to see the room better. And then, even if you're taking a room, like, oh, will this fit here? You can kind of take it, put it under the thing, and be like, oh yeah, it does fit, okay, or no, it doesn't. And I love that the transparent sheet. The pencils feel nice on the sheet, and just again, the ability to be able to see underneath it for things like that was just sort of a brilliant production decision there. And it really helps people like me who are not good at drawing or even simple things like rooms and doors. It really helped me out, and it just looks kind of nice, that sort of transparency. I love that, just like in the regular castles of Mad King Ludwig, when you complete rooms, you're doing that for bonuses, and there's strategies as to which rooms you want to do, which rooms you want to, gain those bonuses from. As I showed in the overview, we got kind of stuck. We had a courtyard, but we didn't yet have any doors, so we needed to find one that gave the secret door. So we had, things like that. So you're trying to complete certain rooms to get certain bonuses to combo together and have certain combos lead into other combos, as I showed in that overview. The secret doors are really cool. The other things, moving doors, that could be huge and being able to allow you to play something that you weren't able to place before. Gives you the flexibility so that you're not so, it doesn't just beat you over the head where you have this small little spot where you can build all these buildings. Having these flexibilities and some of the bonuses of the rooms really helps you sort of build the blueprint there. I like drafting the decrees at the beginning. I always like that. It just gives the game another layer of depth where you've got something special that is for you and nobody else, and it helps devise your strategy right off the bat. But I've also like, the public goals. So you've got those things that everyone knows that everyone is shooting for, and you can clearly look around and see what those are and how other people are doing and how you are in verse to them. I've always liked that in a lot of TEDS games, Suburbia and Castles, Mad King Ludwig, things like that. It works really well here as well. For me, this was sort of had like a Castles of Mad King Ludwig feel, but in a shorter time, because there was that price setting isn't in this game. Now, I'm gonna say this does feel like a very different game, even though it feels familiar, if you will. You're completing rooms, you're getting bonuses, but it's, in theme-wise, it very much fits with the Castles of Mad King Ludwig. And if you liked that game, and you liked building the buildings, and you liked closing the rooms and getting the bonuses, this has a lot of that, but it has it in a very different way with the way that you're sort of drafting the rooms, right? You don't have to worry about the price setting. So if you like that, but you want it in sort of a different setting with some differences, but also quicker and easier to get to the table, I think this is where that sort of fits there. If you've never played Castle of Mad King Ludwig, this is a great way to sort of get into that series, because again, it is thinky, but yet shorter. And you don't have to worry about trying to value things for how much you're going to set prices at for things. I like to save the sheets of all the blueprints and just keep them in the box. And when you're explaining the game to new people, or when you look at them, it's fun to just look through these, because again, all these blueprints, they're kind of crazy the way they all fit together. It's kind of fun to leave all the sheets in there and look at them later. On the negative side of things, it is, again, this might sneak up on people. So if you're saying, hey, I got a Flippin' Right or Sketchin' Right I want to show you, they might be expecting something a lot lighter. So you gotta know your audience of who you're bringing this to. There's a lot of sort of special scorings that your first play might trip you up. You've got the moats and everything behind it fully, and then you've got the courtyards, and they get the outdoor rooms, and there's a decent amount going on here, both in the gameplay but also in the scoring as well. So just know that going in, that this is gonna be one of those games where your first play is literally the whole thing, including the scoring, is really a learning game, because there's a lot of stuff going on. But that's good, because a lot of people are looking for a more meaty, medium weight Sketchin' Right, and that's what you'll find here with the blueprints of Mad King Ludwig. Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, and if you missed their 4.0 Kickstarter, you can still late pledge and take advantage of over 40 unlocked stretch goals and early fulfillment. This campaign featured a new Young Sherlock table, perfect for children's gaming, and movable coffee table, 10 new thematic mats by top artists like Vincent Dutray, a new designer art series Minecraft topper with thematic art from Brent Woodside, and some of the best package deals they've had, including game mat bundles. Go to GameToppersLLC.com or click the link below to late pledge now.